Okay.
So I go by the name Isaac Yamie, I'm a spoken word artist.
I go by the name Ree The WordSmith.
And we are poets on an island. And on the keyboard we have our brother Lush.
The one and only. I mean, the man plays the keys that dance on your mind till you cannot help but be lost in another world. And tonight he's here to assist us to usher you into our world. The world of poetry, the world of parables, the world of Parabola.
So tonight's activity, we're going to show you that we can all be poets, and the sub-theme of Parabola is the stories are us. Each one of you has a story, and in that regard, I believe you believe that by the end of tonight, we can all be poets. So, realize, how do we begin this thing?
How do we begin this thing, sir? Do we have a volunteer? Just anyone for anything? Alright, I see a hand. Hello, sir. Just want to kick something a little. Alright, sir. Okay. Can you give me a word, a random word? Alright, introspect. Okay. You said introspect. Do we have another volunteer? Like just anyone with a word that's on their mind? Right?
Chrysanthemum. What does that mean? Jasmine.
Jasmine. Alright. Introspect in jasmine. Words are us. Here we go. CI. Sometimes I find myself lost in my other world, other galactic thoughts, and I feel like my thoughts devour me like Galactus is the eater of worlds. These tiny little words that I build as a poet keep getting consumed by my other, more intrusive thoughts. Oh, shall I introspect about what the smell of jasmine reminds me of? See, sometimes you cannot just smell smells, sometimes you can touch smells, sometimes you want to throw more coins in the wishing well and try to imagine what it would be like if that one person that you always long for wished you well. Well, I figured this out and I realized that I actually do not like the smell of jasmine now. See, I do not like the fact that I have to add to my broken memories, I have to subtract from the happy days, I have to divide my thoughts by hours to say, okay, fine, 2 a.m. is time to be anxious, 3 a.m. is time to be angry for all those apologies I never received, 4 a.m. is wondering if I need to send that text or not, because sometimes, just sometimes, all of the thoughts you had about a booty call are lost in the feel of a butt dial. I mean, dial it back to the moment when I was just a kid, trying not to get lost among the tall trees of society in this concrete jungle. See, that's Cyprus for me. And boy, do I hate jasmine.
Alright, so what's interesting is he literally spun a world from words that he just heard now, which resembles that. Some of the times our minds are just free to roll. But what about the organized people? So tonight we're going to just manifest some freedom. We're going to feast on some wisdom. Imagine this. Imagine if you could be anything in this world. Imagine if you could create anything in this world. Imagine if you could be anyone in this world. Imagine being a god for a second. We go by the name poets on an island and from the nation called Imagine. And we embrace this gift of imagine. We create worlds with our words. As we spin these words, worlds awaken. They say a picture can say 1,000 words, but we prevail 1,000 words to give you our pictures. As poets on an island, they called us and we answered. See, the English language is approximately 1 million words in its vocabulary. And words, what is spoken word? What is poetry? Poetry is the rhythmical dancing of those words to create a masterpiece. Words got power. Words can create a world. Words can start a family. If you think I'm lying, go ask your mom and dad how they started. Words are powerful. Words can create peace. Words can endorse war. Words can basically create anything. But what is wrong with words? Nothing is wrong with words. See, words yield to a master who's behind those words, determines the power of those words. See, the maker of this world say, let there be words. are powerful. Words define creativity. Words define who we are. So with them, handle your words with care. After all, you are the master of your own words.
The rhythmic dancing of words to create a masterpiece. I mean, there's a time when I believed that I was the master's favorite piece, but I first needed to masterpiece before I could manifest my masterpiece. I stopped trusting the television to tell my vision when I realized that sometimes Netflix is just flicks and tricks, and I find myself in a net, trying to find myself, trying to find a doppelganger who maybe has a better life than me on the internet, but wait, maybe I imagine myself being a love poet sometimes. Maybe I imagine the kind of love that makes me want to see the sun rise on a Sunday, the kind of love that makes flowers mandatory on a Monday, the kind of love that makes me want to choose someone on a Tuesday, and maybe throw around words for a wedding on a Wednesday, the love that makes me thirst for her on a Thursday, the love that makes me want to sit down somewhere, kick my feet back and enjoy a stir fry on a Friday, or maybe off to another planet, Saturday on a Saturday. See, I told her this. I got off the bus at 2:30, and by the time I saw what I saw, it was quarter to you. Quarter to you telling me that maybe we got something to share, and the truth is, sometimes I just want to lie with you. The truth is, sometimes I want to lie to myself that time is not moving forward, because see, life is lived forwards but more understood backwards. I find myself trying to keep balance. See, maybe I live through the songs. Maybe I'm no Kendrick Lamar, but damn, you make a good kid go mad in the city. You're a butterfly that cannot be pimped. And every time I see you, you raise my morale, and I feel like taking big steps towards my fears. And we're hanging on the ledge, and it becomes all clear that maybe sometimes we take tequila for past tears, but even the whisper of whiskey cannot replace how you whisk me to another dimension. So I imagine myself being something. I imagine myself being Superman with the laser eyes, but still with all the X-ray vision, you still remain my ex, and I can't figure out why. I saw myself out swing from tower to tower. I told myself I'd swing through gargoyles like Batman, but sometimes I just need one lovely soul to bat for this man, because damn, I feel like a joker at times. I feel like my reality comes with too many dents, but I don't want to appear like I'm two-faced. Two-faced the truth that maybe I am no superhero. Maybe I'm Lex Luthor without the kryptonite, a man rambling to himself about how maybe he will appear in my crib tonight, but that only happens when I close my dreams. Closer it seems, but then, hey, the television cannot tell my vision. See, what the fuck does a middle-aged white writer know about an immigrant person trying to raise capital in the last divided capital city of the world, and to capitalize on all these fears is what I sometimes hear when I talk to myself. And then, maybe life in itself is one sentence. Maybe it's a run-on sentence. Maybe it's a runaway sentence. And even though we despise those in chains, we all are set to face the capital punishment for an expiry date. So, I don't know. What you guys say, Isaac?
You know, it's funny that I remember meeting this girl, you know. The funny thing about this island, sometimes when you meet someone from a different country, you're thinking, is this gonna last? Like, I hope it's just not me, but, you know, I remember this girl, she made me think something about life. The moment I saw her, he screamed the death of a bachelor because there was so much evidence of it being a murder scene written all over it. See, I guess I'm that of a cat because I am that cat that just survived my own curiosity. Or maybe I did die and resurrected. You know what they say about cats having 9 lives, they say. This girl was called Miss Mysterious. Getting to know her felt like a quest and an adventure. Dangerous, fun, but yet this vertical, this roller coaster was interesting and totally fun. Every single time I was with her, felt like I was walking in a minefield. No sure when the next boom was gonna happen. But see, to me, love is quite a bit complicated. It's like walking in the shadow of the valley of death, and I fear a lot. See, they say ignorance is bliss, but there was nothing bliss about me not knowing how I felt about her. I guess good things come to an end. Every single time I would contemplate if this could have been the end of me, to a point whereby I would stop myself, thinking maybe the poet in me will serenade her and she will fall in love with me, and I couldn't handle that. So every single time I would speak, I would watch my next line, next rhyme, trying to put myself in line first before I'm accused of being offside as I side with my dreams. I guess I had to watch it go. This was by the airport. And I knew I couldn't do anything about it. But then I realized that maybe, just maybe, we're that mathematical equation that was never meant to be solved. So, miss, allow me to do this one thing. Allow me to apologize. I want to apologize for not being Nick, at least your Nick of time, as I failed to realize in the nick of time that, miss, all along, you were into me. But you know what, enough of this laughter, man. Enough of this laughter.
I mean, this love thing. I mean, they tell you to catch flights, not feelings, but sometimes it feels like all the flights are grounded when you're at ground zero and the heartbreak is just bombed on you. I mean, what's love to a broken soul? Sometimes all a man has are words to remind him of his worth. Sometimes, for what it's worth, he just wants to write a last poem in which he's finally not the simpering simp that life makes him out to be. I mean, a wise young poet once told me that maybe the next Shakespeare is in engineering class trying to solve a differential equation, but cannot figure out the one equation of how he's different from everyone that he meets in life. A young poet told me that maybe, just maybe sometimes, maybe it's not enough to put 10 toes on the ground, because unlike a cat, maybe you don't have the 8 lives, you don't have the 9 lives. And sometimes the 8 tentacles of fear from the octopus of reality just grips you, and you find yourself tempted by the 7 scenes. But well, only 6 are deadly. And I got 5 minds to change the 4 corners of my mind to focus on a sort of a triangle of sorts, or maybe a pyramid to which I am top and I am the king, but it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you want to double the time you focus on the words, because maybe they open you up to another portal, to that one world where you are hero and not zero. See, I count down memories in these words. I count down lives in these words. Sometimes I think of the fact that you only die twice. The first time when you expire from the earth, and the second time when someone says your name on earth for the last time. So for everyone that I've known in my life, for everyone that has inspired a single rhyme, I would love to keep their names alive. I mean, a young Yamie would say, it's a cold Lord, but at least alcohol does not freeze. But just a few months ago, alcohol froze the person I love, so maybe I need a refresher in perspective. But well, it's just poetry. It's just words. But to some, it's a lifeline. To some, it's more than just punchlines. To some, it's a punch at the enemy that wants to see your dreams flatline, because it's not every time that a joke falls flat that the joker is the problem. Maybe sometimes the rhyme is what you need. And poetry may well be for broken hearts and broken ears. I mean, they say broken cookies still make a snack and broken hearts still bleed. But what if we're all just Paganini, trying to play perfect notes on broken strings? As you string along these words, as they string you along, as you realize that maybe you just felt lonely, but you were never alone. Because these words are a travel guide for the broken. These words remind you that in the uncapping of a pen is home. And Peter Pan might just make sense after all.
You know what's interesting is the way he was speaking into the mic. It got me thinking. See, the microphone is like a throne. For a minute, it feels like you're ruling a kingdom of thoughts subjected to you at that particular moment. Whenever I see a microphone, not only do I see a stage, but I see an opportunity, not only to shine, but to share. Sometimes I feel like that's where burdens are lifted. Sometimes I'm just plain selfish, just wanting to speak, but yet again I'm reminded of the repercussions of speech, how there is freedom of speech, which is is likely not to exist after the speech. See, whenever I see a microphone, I get excited about to reach out, to reach in people's hearts. Not only will I speak, but I will be heard. See, sometimes I feel like a microphone is like my therapist, always waiting for me to speak, always listens, but never, ever judges me. But sometimes I feel like me and my therapist, the microphone, we forgot to do something quite important, like sign a non-disclosure agreement. See, she allows me to share our sessions in front of people. But yet again, she reminds me that her office is actually the stage.
I mean, time, sometimes it feels like all you just need is more time so you can time the happy moments and try to punctuate the trajectory of your own life. Sometimes it feels like every second brings you closer to the end. But well, I could be glad it happened, but I could not rule all those moments in which I felt lost. But maybe the path to being who you are is not when you walk in a straight line. Maybe sometimes all you can do is meander to your greatness. I mean, it feels crazy that we sometimes feel like all we ever lived for could be found online, but timelines cannot be the only thing that lines your times and tells you when to be happy, who to love, who to hate. Because all we have is indeed Father Time. I mean, a younger me used to believe that time heals all wounds, but I now understand that time also wounds all heals. When you try to scale the hills of life, sometimes you convince yourself you need thicker soles and bigger shoes so you can feel less, but what happens when you cannot pick up the soul from the ground because you told yourself, no, you cannot feel? But what's fulfilling sometimes when you're foraging for your own feelings is the fact that you're still there, you're still in this moment. So what it's going to be? The time to break down these words and share a gem or two over time when there's this random sound that just passes through ears. I mean, what's poetry without humanity?
See, I have been having conversations lately with my rich friends, poor friends, beautiful friends. I don't feel like I'm a beautiful friend. My rich friend would say, I think most things in life, the best things in life are for free. My poor friend would say, I wish I had a little bit of money just to pay rent, a little bit more to just buy a few things. My rich friend would say, I wish mommy and daddy would spend more time with me. I wish they would realize that giving me the latest of everything doesn't cut it for me. Sometimes they should ask me what's wrong with me. I just want to spend more time with them. My poor friend would say, I wish money was not this elephant in the room every single time I had a conversation with my guardians and my parents. I wish money was not this thing that brought enmity in between us. I wish we could have a decent conversation without them thinking, what do I need now and why? I wish money never existed at all. I wish this buying of things was never a thing. My beautiful friend would say, I wish people would see me beyond beautiful. My I feel like I'm not beautiful friend would say, I wish people can look my way. My beautiful friend would say, I wish the guy that I likes me back. And I say, what do you mean you have more than 5,000 followers on Instagram? And then she says, that's the point. It doesn't matter if the one you love doesn't love you back. My beautiful friend would say, I wish sometimes people would call me beautiful. I wish people would stop objectifying me. I feel like I'm not beautiful friend would say, I wish I was prettier. I wish at least 2 guys could like me. I wish my hair would flow like the river now. I wish my skin was smooth as honey. I wish people could see me beyond my beautiful personality. I wish people would call me beautiful. And sometimes my rich friend would still insist that the best things in life are for free. My beautiful friend would say, sometimes I feel like just ending it. My I don't feel like beautiful friend would say, sometimes I feel worthless. My poor friend would say, sometimes I do not know if I have family when it comes to money. And that hit me really.
It's crazy how sometimes a few faces, a few characters on a phone can be used to define your entire character. See, I told myself I'd eat different. Because sometimes when you go through life, your greed kind of evolves, your greed kind of becomes different. I told myself maybe breakfast would offer me a fast break from the nightmares of yesterday. I told myself that maybe my lunch would launch me to happier thoughts, and maybe my dinner would deny me an opportunity to backslide to the things I'm trying to desert. But then, it feels like a stay of execution. Sometimes it feels like every day multiplies the dose of electrocution that reality offers you. Sometimes it feels like the locomotion of your life is traveling towards a cliff. But wait, you can't hang everything on a hangover. I mean, when you get the hang of it, you realize that maybe the island is not where everything makes sense. Maybe the island is where you learn to make sense of everything. See, there's nothing in everything and everything in nothing. Sometimes there's everything and nothing said. Nothing in so many words said. So I try to choose mine. So I try to hold on to every word that reminded me that I'm just part of a complex yet valuable human race. And sometimes we find ourselves lost in the race to prove who's more human, who's more humane. But then it was never about the finish line. Maybe the idea is by the time I finish this line, we all think of the fact that we'll have to meet the end of the line. But while we're still here, words are us, stories are us. Voice in an island at your service. Tonight, maybe a few other nights.